Jaws 2 is out on Blu-ray now, and if you guys saw my friend and I, Matt Brando, we reviewed Jaws 3D last week, and it was tons of fun, and we figured why not fill in the last gap of the Jaws film that I haven't reviewed leading up to The Shallows. Finding Dory was out, a whole bunch of fish movies, so hey, fish. Let's talk about fish. How are you doing today, Matt? Thank you very much for coming on.
Mr. Mayor, Chief, ladies and gentlemen.
Jaws 2, for me, isn't like a disaster like 3 and 4 is. It's at least a watchable movie. Roy Scheider returned, and again, of course, there's a shark terrorizing the beaches of Amity Island. Jaws was such a humongous success. It was one of the biggest movies of all time, the first movie to ever make more than $100 million at the box office. It was the first real blockbuster, so obviously there's going to be a sequel. I'm surprised it actually took 3 years to make it.
I think the best route for this story is to have the town think, oh, the shark's not really here, and then maybe Brody is paranoid, which they already talked about in the earlier script versions. Don't show the shark. The town doesn't know. Brody's crazy until Tina's attacked. I think when Tina's attacked with Ed and Ed dies, that's when we see the shark for the first time.
That would make a really great idea. They show the shark a lot because, you know, I mean, obviously everyone who goes to this movie and sees the shark on the poster, you expect a shark.
Yeah.
But I think in retrospect, it would have been a more interesting story, like you're saying, if there was a little bit more paranoia, because right from the opening scene, you see those two divers get attacked by a shark. So you know it's a shark and you're on Roy Scheider's side. But it would have been a more interesting story dramatically if there was just a shred of doubt, maybe even in the viewer's mind. Even though you know you're going to get a shark.
Yeah.
But I think maybe for the characters, it would have been better.
Yeah, see, the thing is with that first attack, if you just had like an ambiguous, like, these divers got attacked, we never show the shark at all, and then it's all on that camera.
You'd think that after like Jaws 1, after he killed a shark, saved everyone who was doubting him already, they would give him maybe the benefit of the doubt when he comes around saying, I think something's going on.
Yeah.
But they don't. Everyone's like, no, it's the beaches. We can't close the beaches. And then they throw in like some stupid subplot where his wife's boss has like all these maybe sort of feelings for her. He thinks she's the greatest woman on earth or whatever.
It's funny you say that because you're smart to pick that up. They actually cut that down a lot. And I don't know if it's in the deleted scenes for the Blu-ray because we haven't watched that yet. But there's a cut little scene that was in the shooting script, like the latest script for Jaws 2, where Len like asks her to dance. And he goes, no. And then they kind of go off and dance, and then they grab a bottle of champagne or wine, and then they leave.
Wow.
Like, yeah, there's a lot of that like overtones or like on the nose about Len Peterson liking Ellen Brody.
Where Jaws 2 works for me is Roy Scheider's performance. I think he's the best part of the movie. He classically clashed a lot with the director. It's very well known that they had some serious arguments during the making of this movie that actually got physical, apparently, according to reports. So obviously there was some difficulty there because when you watch the movie, you can kind of tell that it's a couple different visions because originally, as you know, this movie was directed by a completely different person. And so the whole movie kind of got reworked, and you can really feel that kind of strange, like Roy Scheider's on his own little mission and he's trying to prove things, and then all these kids are constantly playing, and then they're trying to give the kids some characterizations, but then the kids go out and the shark just attacks them, and it kind of becomes a slasher movie, a horror film really, where the first one was more of a adventure thrill ride with great characters. This one was more like, let's just have the shark pop up and eat some people, and we're going to give it scars, and it's going to be burnt. That being said, there are some things I like about this movie. As I said, Roy Scheider is good in the film. They do actually attempt to give some characterizations to people, unlike Jaws 3 and Jaws 4. They actually do try to set up some characters that you could maybe get behind. Even though the whole town doubting him again is kind of stupid and it's an obvious thing that it's just like, really, come on, this town should be hurting right now.
Yeah.
Like 3 years ago, some serious shit happened with this shark. They should give him the benefit of the doubt. It gives him some more characterization when they fire him and you kind of get behind him. But then when he goes out to rescue the kids to try to save his children and those other kids, you don't really get much of anything in regards to an arc between him and the town. It just fades out into a sunset when he finds the kids. And you get that one scene with Lauren Gary where she's like, I don't like you, you person, and then walks away.
They actually shot this of Larry Vaughn, the mayor, when they're doing like a before and after when they're talking about Brody, and then Brody comes in with the photograph and he's going crazy. And there's a really nice little line where everyone votes to, get rid of Brody as chief. Like Len Peterson and everyone raise their hands, but the mayor doesn't. He's like this. And then like goes on, the mayor, I think Len says like, anyone opposed? And he's like, and I don't think they filmed, or at least they cut right before the line, but there's a line in the script where he said, like, the man did a lot for this town or something. I was like, wow, I actually like the mayor now. Speaking of characterization, want to talk about the kids?
Oh, sure. Let's get into the kids.
Not just that. Hey, dude, she's looking at you. You see the way she looked at you?
That's most of the movie, yeah. This type of movie, in regards to characterization for teenagers, has just stuck with movies all the way until today. Like, you get the whole bunch of horny kids together, and that's it. They're horny, and maybe they might procreate. That's the characterization for this movie. The son, Mike, is awful.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like, everything he says, like, he has like this overdramatic, like, no. Yeah.
You going sailing?
Maybe.
I'm not sure if he acted again, actually.
I don't know. We might have to look that up. The shooting script had just a little bit more characterization, like when they're like getting punched and shit at the beginning, all the teenagers.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, who do you want to take out tomorrow on a date? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Who do you want to take out? I was like, this sucks. Especially compared to the earlier version made by Shackler, which is probably my favorite. It's Jaws Numerical 2. That one actually had a lot of great characterization for the kids. It actually made me care about the kids when they were being attacked. Rather than the movie, I'm just like, go shark, kill him. I don't care.
Yeah, really. It's just a bunch of...
Because here's an example I can use. Like when they're like boating out, like these two chicks come in, they end up being Jackie, but her name was like Brooke and something else. And then so Mike ended up, his motivation the whole time was this one chick. It wasn't like, my friends are boating and I'm painting.
Oh my god, I know.
He takes this new chick out to sail, and then all the other friends and stuff come out to sail too, and one of them is like a boat of two girls, and one of those girls is his ex and is jealous. Like all this really cool characterization that they decide just to dub down. It kind of sucks.
So it seems like with this, if you watched our review of Jaws 3D, it seems like there were always at least attempts to try to make the films a little bit better than they ended up being.
Oh yeah.
Jaws 2 is not horrible, but when you watch it, it really just plays as a horror movie with a shark, and Chief Brody has the only characterization, which I bet you he squeezed out of the director's neck when they were in the middle of one of these fights that they had.
Yeah, you really want characterization. You read that book right there.
The Jaws 2 novelization?
Right there, yeah. Point to it right there, people. You want crazy story that had so much more depth to what was going on for the plot. That's the Mafia version right there. This town should be dead. Like, there's a huge shark attack. Yeah. The economy should have been crushed. That might have been too dark. I agree with the Universal execs, but I like reading that thing. That thing's great. But that middle one with the abandoned town and we have to revitalize, it just raises the stakes up more rather than just this flat sequel that ended up being.
I feel like if they did go that route where they had a town that was more abandoned, that it would have felt a little bit more, not so much realistic, but just there would have been something to get behind. There's really nothing to get behind in this movie. The one thing you can get behind is Chief Brody, because everyone's doubting him and you know that he's telling the truth. Yeah. That's the only thing you can get behind. The characters are so weak. The shark works still mostly for most of the shots. It looks better than the shark in Jaws 3, that's for sure. When you see a film like Jaws, if you've never heard of it before and you pick it up and you see a shark, you go, oh, it's a shark movie. When you watch Jaws, you go out going, that was a Chief Brody movie, that was a Quint movie, that was a Hooper movie. Yeah. Like, that was awesome. These characters are great. I want more of that. Yeah. Jaws 2 at least gave us one of those characters, but they didn't give him a single interesting thing to do, unfortunately. They obviously went through a lot of script changes, just like Jaws 3. I don't know about 4, but maybe they did. They went through director changes even on this movie. Yeah. I think a studio was scrambling to discover what they could do with this humongous property that they had never had anything like that before. Like, wow, all these people love this movie.
That's true. Maybe been too much pressure or something.
They probably were. It was nominated for Best Picture. It basically launched Steven Spielberg's career, and everyone loved it. Critics, people, the Academy, all of that. They were probably like, well, we have to make this a money-milking franchise. And they did, I guess. Yeah, they did what everyone else does. They just made the horror sequel. You said that in Jaws 3, this is kind of like a Jason movie. The shark comes up and it's like, and the music is loud.
Yeah. So the scene where I didn't remember, and then you said to me, I don't remember this part, is when Tom Andrews is diving into the water and, going for lobsters or whatever.
Right.
In the Sackler script, the one between the two crazy ones, he's actually diving down, he's chasing like this little fish. He can't find it and goes into the darkness. And then there's a shot of like the shark coming out of the darkness with the fish in its mouth. Like, that's kind of scary. And then he goes up instead of like the thing just brushing by. I'm like, oh, this sucks. Oh my god, we have to say it. We have to say it. Pretend there's a can of gasoline.
Oh my god.
What are you doing?
She just pours a bunch of fucking gasoline all over herself and blows up. I mean, it was just so poorly done. And I think a lot of that has to do perhaps with this director not being a very good director of action. Because if you've ever seen the movie Supergirl, which I've also done a hilariosity of, yeah, he sucks at directing action. Anything like that. And so I don't know what happened there, but that was shit.
So in the Sackler script, that boat scene, those two boaters, was like a couple. And Brody knew them. When he interviews the old lady, he's like, blah, 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 asking a bunch of questions. Like, who were they? Were they out of towners? He goes, no, friends. And then ends the scene.
Jaws 2 is a watchable movie. If you've never seen the Jaws films, Jaws 1 and 2 you can watch. 3 is hilariously awful, but it's at least funny, and especially if you have the 3D Blu-ray and can watch it in 3D. In that way, the film has some kind of gimmick, at least, that you can enjoy.
Yeah, it's watchable.
4, just fucking stay away. That movie is garbage and ass. But I have reviewed all of them now, so if you want to check out all those reviews, you can now.
Jaws 2 is a watchable sequel. It's serviceable. Like, you can't take a masterpiece, Jaws, a 10 out of 10, and unless your last name is Cameron or Spielberg, follow that up with another masterpiece. And that's one negative thing I can say about Jaws is that when it ends, you're like, oh no, I want more. So you pop in Jaws 2 and you're like, okay, this is all right.
Yeah.
But stop after that.
It's not quite as good as I remember it being, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's not quite as good. It's for me, it's kind of like a B minus level. I don't really know what grade I would actually give it. Probably a B minus, B, right in there. But it's just not quite as great as I remember it being when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, I was like, Jaws 2 is pretty good. Whee! It's got Roy Scheider. So you mentioned something in the last Jaws 3D review.
Mm-hmm. And if you watch my stuff, I can buy the really expensive shark from San Diego Comic-Con 2015. It's like $100. It comes with bloodied Quint and a bloodied shark with a machete. It's freaking awesome.
You mentioned that there was something you were looking for. What's that? Right there.
What, this?
Yeah, what's that blue?
Are you shitting me?
What's that blue box? What's inside the blue box?
I don't know.
Why don't you open the blue box, Matt?
All right. Oh, shit. What should we put in the background? I have a little shark.
Uh-huh.
Mako shark.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
See, if we're... Now we gotta do Deep Blue Sea, because Mako sharks are in Deep Blue Sea.
That's true. You know, I don't really think that's what you wanted, though.
He's pretty cool, though.
I don't really think that's what you wanted. I think...
Oh, my God.
I think,
Oh, Jesus.
I think this is actually what you wanted.
All right. See
Maybe.
Oh, shit.
Now, I apologize that the box isn't in pristine condition, but this thing is rare as fuck, and that's the best quality I could find.
My God, it is gorgeous. People, look at this. Thank you very much, my friend.
You're welcome, buddy.
Thanks
for being in the videos.
I feel like crying. You know, it's crazy if people want some bonus footage here. I saw this, because this is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, as you see the sticker right there, but they had them at Toys R Us for a good price of $30. And I literally had like 40 or 50 bucks in my bank account. I think I called up you or my other friend, and I was like, hey, this thing's here, it's like rare, and I'm like, I don't know if I want it. Like, I don't know. And then it was gone. And
I apologize, but I have now made up for this.
Thank you, Chris. You are the man.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. So those games back there, those Jaws games, I mean, I'm bored. What are you doing?
Nothing. We can eat some pizza and play some games.
Do you want to eat some pizza and play some games?
I think we should do that.
Okay, let's go eat some pizza.
Yeah.
And play some games. Oh, and get Stuckmanized.
Oh!
Ooh.
Get him.
This is kind of fun. I'm surprised.
Why is he not like leaving?
Oh, he just jumped off.
Go get him.
Where is he?
Boat sick.
There he goes. He's swimming away. Go. Yeah, he's dead.
I'm about to say, they better have some kind of kick.
Damn.
Found some people. Where's Amity? I don't know.
Where's Dennis Quaid?
Yeah, there you go.
Are you ready for this shit?
Yeah. What are you...
I swim this way? No?
What are you supposed to do? Oh, you're supposed to kill the stingrays and shit?
I guess.
You've hit Jaws! Ooh!
Oh my god, that instantaneously killed me. Did you see that shit? There's Jaws right there.
Those graphics looks like a fucking orca.
There's NES Jaws, 1987 NES Jaws.
Oh,
I got killed by a stingray.
Stingray fucked you up.